Greetings everyone, here we are with another delightful video. This time it is covering Baptism of Fire from the RPG Pundit. This is essentially a updated and adjusted version of the Lion and Dragon system. So if you have watched my previous Lion and Dragon video, or any of the Dark Albion setting videos, this can be integrated into using with that system or other of those other products in there. Also includes Sword and Caravan. This is from a different time period, and it's a modified system. It's still compatible because it's an OSR product. A proper OSR product should have a high degree of compatibility of just swapping in and out a feature. This is actually a very very chonky book. There's no OSR logo in the corner. I do not know why. It is OSR. However, this is what I like to call a Type 3 OSR game, or a third generation or third wave OSR game, as per how some other people use the term. Type 1 is typically just the straight-on clones, where it's literally just D&D or another game in the D&D family with the serial numbers scraped off of it and the labels changed and all the rules collected together in a nice organized pile. And then the Type 2 or second generation or second wave OSR products will have some updates to the rules and maybe a unique setting to it, and some modern options thrown in as well. And then you have Type 3, which is more built into the specific setting in which it is in. It will swap out entire components of the rules. Say like in RPG Pundit's TTRPGs, instead of using Fancy and Magic, he will use a ritual system or a set of magic systems that replicates the believed means of performing magic in the era in which that game takes place in. If I can remember correctly, this book roughly sells for like in the $30s, $40 range, which is actually exceedingly cheap. It is a huge, chunky book that has well close to like 300 pages. It has 375 pages in it. It includes character sheets in the very back, so you have all your essential components that you need to play the game there. It is very well laid out, as you can see. It is not like the Pathfinder or even the Dungeons & Dragons or some other TTRPG role-playing game in character sheets where there's tons and tons of little knickknacks and objects and artistic items scattered over the page and clutters up the page horrifyingly badly. The page is actually quite clear and open. It makes total sense as you read it. You don't have a whole bunch of like bags or pieces of artwork scattered through the entire thing. There is a piece of armor there, and swords and various other items here and there for you to look at, and a little shield. It is fairly well organized. It operates under the open OGL license. The RPG Pundit has an entire YouTube channel and a series of videos covering all the content that is in this book, designer notes section. As you can see, he does the setting design. He's the writer. He has his editor, and then cover art is created by Midway Journey AI and so forth. Chris Miller is the person that shows that. You have interior artists, actual artists. So this is done by AI, but everything else inside the book is done by actual people, and so forth. And there's a special note about AI artwork right here. This book is printed in the United States, copyright 2024. You have a very nice table of contents that is well spaced out and easy to read. If you have a little bit of dyslexia, the fact that it is extra wide spacing with extra big letters with capitalization on most words, like civilization and survival is capitalized. Typically, there's this weird phenomenon with people with dyslexia and ADHD that if you capitalize and bolden the first letter of each word, it actually becomes way easier for them to read it. So you have introduction, character creation, character classes, miracles and magic, economy and equipment, game master procedures, monsters, Piast Poland, Polish gazetteer, pagans and pagan magic, and then you have Appendix 1, Appendix 2, Appendix 3, Appendix 4, Appendix 5, Appendix 6, Appendix 7, and so forth. The introduction is very nicely laid out, as you can see here. Nice big bold stylized letters. There is a nice piece of artwork here. Most of the book has a good amount of artwork spread throughout it. It's always nice to have at least a piece of artwork every other page or every page. However, it does tend to have it every other page. The text is nice and large and easy to read. Even at this 1080p setting, you can read the text with great ease. There is a strong focus on role mechanics for character creation. So if you're the kind of person who's like one of my friends who also likes to roll everything for their characters, you can do that in this system. You can literally just go from the end of the book here, start rolling your stats, and then you roll for your social class, because social class is really important in medieval times and the Dark Ages. It's paramount. Your family and your social class is exceedingly important. You also have a trade. That's actually a very nice piece of artwork right there. The artwork I find is exceedingly accurate to the era in which it's set in. There's always a few little goofs and things here and there that in pieces of artwork that crop up from time to time, but as you can see, there's a beautiful range of options in this book for creating your characters. It's all dice rollable. Side effects of time in the Twilight Realm, and so forth. You got a section on Polish names. It's all numbered, so if you want, you can roll a D60 or a D30. If you have D60s and D30s, I do have D60s and D30s myself. And so forth. Very nice emblems and shields. Actually very fitting for the era. You have a section talking about the various important concepts of early medieval Poland. How different people of different age groups, sex, family relationships, religious beliefs, and so forth interact with each other, different social classes. How to do skill checks. So the game system very easily walks you into the basic character creation, and then it moves you into how to do the basic stuff that you're supposed to do with that character in character creation, as well as it rolls into classes such as the archer, which is actually quite nice to have, the fighter, the holy man, the holy warrior. Most classes are typically 1 to 2 page character classes, so it's really easy to get all your essential information that you need for that character class in 1 or 2 pages. There is an occasion where there might be character classes on 1 page and the last little bit is on the other side of the page, like the Stromkowski. And so forth. You got the witch hunter and the woodsman. And so forth. And then you have a nice little section on holy powers and miracles. Explaining it through here. Generally, it's a very well written and very well organized book. There is occasional, if you go on DriveThruRPG and buy off of DriveThruRPG, a lot of the earlier print-on-demand runs on the DriveThruRPG site had some errors, and that was largely due to the fact that at some point the wrong file was sent to the wrong file was used by DriveThruRPG. However, this is the Amazon version. This comes in both hardcover and softcover, but since I buy everything off of Amazon, and if I had to order it online, it defaults to this version. The book goes over how to summon demons and bind them to your will by invoking the power of God, and so forth. As you can see, there's all the important things such as astrology and astrological talismans and so forth. The book overall is very beautiful and very well organized and written. Nice range of options for character building, as well as magic spells, rituals, and so forth. This is one of the more chunky books that he has made. He does go over a good bit of the economy of medieval Poland, as well as various other things. So it is important to note that this is a comprehensive book on the system. This is both the players, the game master, and the dungeon master, as well as bestiary book. You got a nice range of creatures in the back. I just skipped a few pages. Many of them are Polish mythological creatures that haunted the early Polish peoples. With a lot of very classical artwork and the very classical depictions of them from that era. Pretty much nearly every single creature has a piece of artwork with them. Some of them may even have 2 pieces of artwork. And it's very nice to have artwork with every single creature, or the vast majority of them, because that way you can easily look at it and describe it as to your best of your ability to the players, or you can just simply take the piece of artwork or like photocopy it and then show it to your players. This is the first Poland timeline or campaign timeline. This is handy for you to decide to where you place your party in to the timeline and what events that came up around that timeline, so you know what might be of knowledge to the players back prior to them in timeline and current, as well as you can build towards future things. So there's important details about various offices or jobs in which people did in medieval times. A very nice map. This is a hex map. I should have set up my other light. There's more hex map. It covers over the Polish landscape, all the important cities of the era and regions of Poland. This gives you a very nice jump-off point to go and research more stuff on medieval Poland and legends, so you can build this out even more. But still, even then, if you weren't going to go that route, it still gives you a substantial amount of information to go from just from the book. Pagans and pagan magic. It goes over the pagan magic section. As well as various important events and stuff like that. You got tables for various monsters here. So you can randomly roll various monsters based on the terrain and the time in which you would run into them. Then there's also a random events generator. So if you visit a town, you might run into a random event. with quick descriptions of them and various other alternative variations in them. Urban rumors table. Then you have an appendix for pagan magic and various other fun stuff. Social encounters and many more things. This book is just so chonky, it's actually wearing out my arms holding it up. And as I said before, the character sheet is in the back. The only thing I could say that is bad about this book is that it's 300 plus pages, and it is a chonky monster. I would have very much liked it if the Game Master stuff was separated from the player stuff. That would probably reduce down a good chunk of the book to a reasonable size. That would make it easier for players and Game Masters to carry around. Yet again, there's the core rulebook, which has the 370 plus pages. But if they were to reduce it down and just take out the Game Master stuff, you might only have a need for... You might only need like around 200 pages just for the players. Actually, you probably only need 171 pages just for players. And from page 171 on, there is basically just random roll tables for treasure, events, monsters, and so forth for the Game Master. So you can actually go right to the back, very to the front, and page 135 on is the Game Master section, but I say 171 and is right around the good break point for that. You might have to separate the pages out, and some of the pages in the Game Master section are useful for players, and some pages in the Game Master section are stuff that's just useful for the Game Master. So the Game Master section starts on page 135. But overall, my only complaint with this book is that it is 370 pages large, and it's a chunky monster to carry around on with other books. However, considering that this is an all-in-one system, this is the only book you really need to carry around as a Game Master, unless you have some other like important character notes which you want to carry around with you. Even then, it's just down to 2. The only other problem with being such a big book is it takes a bit more effort to find stuff. However, the table of contents is exceedingly well organized and very clear and easy to read in the front. So it doesn't take much effort to find what you want if you go right to the table of contents. So I wish there was a player version book and there's a Game Master only version book of this, and more monsters. I love monsters. I love wildlife. I would love more monsters and wildlife. Based on that, everything you need is here. It's very well organized. It's very well thought out. There's a ton of options for both the players and Game Masters. The only negatives, as I said before, are it's a chunky book, which is all a matter of physical strength and how many pages you want to flip through in a hurry. And the fact that it contains all the Game Master and player stuff in the one book. And I wish there was more monsters. More monsters. I would say this is about like a 4.25 star product in my rough preliminary overview score. It is very well organized. It is very reasonably priced. If you are into medieval topics and subjects, this is all up your alley right here. You want something that is very close to the medieval times and replicates as closely as possible to medieval culture in a TTRPG that is not a 1,000-page book monstrosity. This is one of your prime choices. There's supposedly going to be a new released version of Lion and Dragon that's going to combine some of the stuff, some of the supplementary stuff, and some of the updates from the Pundit presents and pundit files into it. They'll be released in the future. It's just a matter of the publisher or finishing up that project. But anyways, this is currently the king of the medieval authentic style TTRPGs now. So 4.25, awesome deal. If you want, you can read the back. Have a delightful day, a nice night, a wonderful weekend, a magnificent month, and see you next time. Ciao.